Hey, it's Corey Goldwaves. I'm going to tell you about how I went from the most beloved, safe Negro in the workplace to the most resented, and they were all aching for me to go. I lost my last job because of my attendance. I was tardy a little too much, but don't let that fool you. They were aching for me to go. I was known as the nicest guy on the security force, and when I got hired by my GM, he was Irish, and he was always talking about how he wasn't racist, how he liked how I was Africana studies major. He was telling me stories about how he worked with black people, and I should have taken that as the first red flag. I should have known. I grew up with Irish people. They're some of the most covert racists out of everybody. Um, they're legendary covert racists. In fact, sometimes I feel more comfortable with the out and out racists, the white trash racists that I live with, than the Irish covert racists. But not to say I want to be around racists at all. Um, so I started off as the most beloved token safe Negro. There was me and a real cool mulatto guy, a security dude, and two other white guys that thought were cool enough. I never learned. Um, anyway, the mulatto security guy, he was real cool. He's the one that introduced me to Rich Dad Poor Dad and stuff like that. Uh, women would just give him their phone number, and these were really good looking women. He didn't do anything. Like his response was like, it was really cool, man. Anyway, he ended up going back to school, so it was just me and the rest of the security people. I'm like, okay, this is fine. There was 4 people in total. Um, 2 of them get COVID, or at least tested positive for COVID, and I had to work about like 3 weeks just by myself on the security force. I had to usher people out of the building and stop arguments and stuff like that, all by myself with no days off. So I thought, oh, that might build me some credit. But so the weeks go by, and more security officers get hired, and I'm noticing a pattern. And well, okay, another white officer, another white officer, another white officer. Oh crap! And then like this Latino dude, but we know the story about a lot of Latinos. They consider themselves white, and you know, I got a little too comfortable with white coworkers. That's the moral of the story. I started believing that they're cool. They're cool with me. I'm in a cool place. The shopping tenants. They're cool with me too. I'm just in a cool place. So I made the mistake. I started talking about myself, about like how I speak Swahili, how I've been to Ireland and Brazil, stuff like that. How I compose music and stuff like that. Got new albums and stuff. That was my first mistake. That was a red flag. I'll never forget it. The first time I started doing that, I spoke Swahili for one of my white coworkers. Like, whoa, whoa, take it easy, Wakanda, and that's when it started. But I didn't know. I'm like, it was kind of racist, so I let it go. Um, then I started talking about, okay, I might be talking to this A&R, stuff like that, and just generally sharing my story to the more and more of the white coworkers who were smiling in my face, who I thought they were cool. But really, what they started doing when they started realizing that, my upbringing, I guess they're jealous of my upbringing. I don't know what the deal is. Something with a white fragile ego. They started watching me for everything I did, and then they went to the GM for every little thing I did, and all of them, all of them. I was upset. I made a group. There was a group chat between me and the rest of them, and I made a comment about I'd like to congratulate this place for only on non-diversity for only hiring white workers. Well, one of them took that to the GM, and I had no idea that the GM was listening to this group text, and he said all group texts come to me, but I was never notified about that. So do you think that was an invasion of privacy? I got stern talking to about that, and I don't think that was right. Um, Okay. And he never let that go. So that was one thing. Two, um, I made the mistake of playing the piano downstairs for the GM. Doesn't matter what level of person you are, the fragile ego goes to all levels. So I think he's slightly resented. Of course, he smiles. Oh, you're very talented. But you got to study white people. They'll say one thing in your face, and I think that kind of burnt him a little bit because he's like, he was just weird about it. It was like, so anyway, so now they're all telling the GM about stuff that I do. Like, there's this massage chair. I sat down in the massage chair because the supervisor, the white guy who was supervisor, got really disrespectful. I was sitting in a chair in the back in the security area, and he told me to get up. This chair is only for the woman that wraps gifts, like real disrespectfully. And if you know anything about white people, that you cannot let them disrespect you once, or else because they'll take it and they'll run with it. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just sit in the massage chairs. So then they told on me for sitting on the massage chairs. They said this one guy said that I was sleeping in the massage chairs, but I was just getting a massage, and they took his word over mine. There's no loyalty. And so I said, was this guy a white guy? And he said, no, I don't know. I don't know what it is. And they're holding that information. I was like, he's probably racist because I was just getting a massage. I wasn't asleep. And so they took his word, went to the GM, and the GM said I was sleeping in the massage chairs. Of course, I was guilty until proven innocent. And I started saying, oh, I know what's going on around here. I see what's going on around here. Because, once you grow up in a family of white people, you start to realize. But I should have learned. I made the mistake of getting way too comfortable with them. So it was miserable working there because I live with two like white trash racist people that drop the N-bomb and talk about they don't want to go to stores with black people and stuff like that. Yeah, that's the family I was raised into. And my adoptive father won't reprimand them, and he's just like, you got to get a job, but he won't have a conversation about the stuff that entails being black in the workplace. So it's just like sends me out and smacks me in the face with the other hand, metaphorically. He's not abusive physically, just mentally. He's the type of adoptive father. He'll be in my life to make sure I get a job, but then that's it. It's like he won't talk to me about racism. He won't comment on violence black people receive by police, and the whole adoptive family is like that. So I'm dealing with these issues at home, and now the whole security force is mostly white, and then I got to deal with so it's like double depression. I got nowhere to go, so I'm making music. I'm just pumping out this music, and of course the production on my music's not so good. I know, I understand, but it's the only way I can get some therapy because there's the thing called BetterHelp, and it's like $200 a month for some therapy. Therapy is really freaking expensive. So I don't got nowhere to go. I'm pumping out music. I'm depressed, and so I started to become late to work because I can barely get up. I have to encourage myself to get up and not try and end my life because I'm like, I got nothing to live for. And, I'm struggling with my sexuality. Am I 100% sure I'm gay? I think I like this guy. Another time, this one of the security guards dropped the F-bomb, said faggot. And I politely made a group text saying, please refrain for any racial or homophobic slurs. And I got in trouble for that. The GM said it was not my place to say that. That I should have went to the GM. I was trying to be cool. See, I don't want to go to the GM and tell on them for everything that they do because that's a man doesn't do that. Speaking of another thing, this dude fucking, excuse my language, reeked. Didn't smell like he showered at all. So I went on to him on the man-to-man thing. Say, hey man, workplace hygiene is important. Real man-to-manish, man. I was like, hey, it's all right, man, but Yeah, hygiene's a thing, man. I got in trouble for that. I said I hurt his feelings, and I went on the man-to-man stuff because like I don't want to smell his BO. I couldn't even walk behind him. So they said I should have went to the gym for that. But I'm not a little schoolgirl. I talk to people to their face. Like if I have an issue, I was grown. I mean, as racist as my adoptive father is, there's still a code that, if you have an issue, you talk man to man with somebody. You don't go behind people's back like a schoolgirl. I mean, the younger generation is growing up on some other stuff, man. And I'm gay, but they're on some pushy shit. I mean, you don't do that. And then there's this mammy, right? This janitor lady who I helped out. She had no food, and I gave her money for food. Turns out she's going behind my back and talking to the GM about everything I do too. Like, what the hell? You're black. You're supposed to be my only. I talk to you about racism. You talk to me. Oh my God, I can't believe that. And so, they were all telling on me. But you know what? I'm gonna keep integrity, man. I'm not gonna be like they do. I'm not gonna do like them like they do me, man. Even if at the end of the day, I gotta look at myself, man. And this is a microcosm of the macrocosm, meaning that my adoptive family, they did the same thing when I was growing up, and I never had a connection with them just because it seemed like, I don't know, they're looking for a reason to hate, man. You gotta keep it cold if you work with white coworkers, man. Straight up, just be professional. Don't no matter how cool you think that they are, don't fall for that, man. Don't fall for that, and do not tell them anything that you do that is skillful that you think, because even if it's a small thing, they'll take that for a reason to get butthurt. So I was the most safe, beloved token at the beginning, and I worked there for like 2 years or a year and a half, to the most resented dude, because I made comments about, okay, why am I the only black guy in the security force? And the GM was like, oh, because everybody else failed their test. Okay, and I personally took a bunch of applications from black brothers and sisters. You tell me they all failed the drug test? All of them? No, then I said, no, this is weird. This is weird. I don't know about this, man. And that's the parent company. I don't know. They're on some weird stuff, man. They're not even fixing the mall. The mall's like in shambles now. A lot of the cameras don't freaking work. I don't know. But they all have time to reprimand me. So, I made a mistake. That's why I need to get a business of my own, so I don't have to. I can work around who I want to work around. White people will turn on you in a second. You can't bank on those relationships, dude. You got to keep it cold. You got to keep it. It's based on the power dynamic. It's not based on the friendship or a niceness. You can never be nice enough to white people to have them not do stuff like that to you. So you have to come with an area of power. You have to be able to punish them somehow. Straight up. This is a man that's been living with white people my whole life, man. Well, I'm glad I got that off my chest. Man, I was the first colorblind person. I mean, I was raised by white people from too. Of course, I'm colorblind. I was colorblind. Then I learned, man, that's a fantasy. Black people and white people are fundamentally different. And you can talk about all that melting pot integration. No, it's got to be a power dynamic, or else you get screwed. Doesn't matter how nice you are, doesn't matter how nice you coon. Listen to my words. Black people, we got to do our own thing. I mean, it's just their ego. You cannot appease their ego all the time. And you're going to say something that makes them feel jealous, then they're going to start sabotaging you. And I've yet to be proven wrong about that. All right, I'm Corey Goldwaves. Have a good one.